Hello, today's devotional is for February 6th, 2021, and today we will conclude the look that we've been taking each day at a chapter in the book of James. So we're going to finish today with James chapter 5. It says, "Come now, you rich people, weep and wail for the miseries that are coming to you. Your riches have rotted, and your clothes are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have rusted, and your rust will be evidence against you, and it will eat your flesh like fire. You have laid up treasure for the last days. Listen, the wages of the laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on the earth in luxury and in pleasure. You have fattened your hearts on the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the righteous ones who do not resist you. Be patient, therefore, beloved, until the coming of the Lord. The farmer waits for the precious crop from the earth, being patient with it until it receives the early and the late rains. You must also be patient. Strengthen your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is near. Beloved, do not grumble against one another, so that you may not be judged. See, the judge is standing at the doors. As an example of suffering and patience, beloved, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Indeed, we call blessed those who showed endurance. You have heard of the endurance of Job, and you have seen the purpose of the Lord, how the Lord is compassionate and merciful. Above all, my beloved, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or by any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no be no, so that you will not fall under condemnation. Are any among you suffering? They should pray. Are they cheerful? They should sing songs of praise. Are any among you sick? They should call for the elders of the church and have them pray over them, anointing them with oil in the name of the Lord. The prayer of faith will save the sick, and the Lord will raise them up, and anyone who has committed sins will be forgiven. Therefore, confess your sins to one another, and pray for one another, so that you may be healed. The prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. Elijah was a human being like us, and he prayed fervently that it might not rain, and for 3 years and 6 months it did not rain on the earth. Then he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth yielded its harvest. My brothers and sisters, if anyone among you wanders from the truth and is brought back by another, you should know that whoever brings back a sinner from wandering will save the sinner's soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. So just as many of the other chapters, I think there's a lot of different components to chapter 5, and so a lot of different things stick out to me at different times. One of the things that is a continuation for me was, of course, the conversations about being this rich versus poor, and focusing not on the temporal things in this time of the fattened calves and the farmers, but instead on your spiritual things. And then for those of us who are not in those powerful situations, they get to be patient and focus that our rewards are not of this world, but instead spiritually. But what stuck out to me more in this reading, perhaps because we had focused on some of those other things earlier in James, is the reminder of prayer and the emphasis on prayer for ourselves and for one another. As we talked about some last month, it was said that our point of with God is not to remove all suffering, but that suffering can be healed some through peace. And this reminds us, are any of you suffering? They should pray. Are they cheerful? They should sing songs of praise. So under all circumstances, are they sick? Come together and pray, and you will be healed. And I've thought about that, and especially when I was younger, didn't always understand that, because of course, sometimes things don't get better in the way that we think of. Sometimes people don't look like they're healed from physical ailments, or if there is suffering in the world, it doesn't always look like it's getting better, because there's still injustices and still things happening. And so I'm reminded for the healing that comes for us within peace and hope and the joy that we have in our prayers and praying for one another. And so I'd like to end on James with letting you know that I take today, and not just today, but other days, to pray for you. I hope you do the same for me. And as it shows here, that those prayers for one another are powerful and effective, though they might not come in the way that we always think that they will, but are, if we be patient, as it tells us in this chapter 5, that we will see the benefits of those prayers in some form. So thank you for taking the time to look with me today and pray with me today. I hope it was meaningful for you, and we'll pick up tomorrow with a new chapter and new space. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you virtually tomorrow.